Hello YouTube! It's been quite a while since I have made a video for my channel, and I had some spare time, so I thought I would make a few more videos and add some more content to my channel. It's been a while since I've had anything to even really film, so I'm starting off with these two pieces here. These are ceramic porcelain bowls or dishes from the late 19th century, or second half of the 19th century rather, made in China, and they are of a style which is known as Nyonyaware. Nyonyaware is the type of porcelain or type of ceramics that were very, very popular with the Straits-born Chinese community of Southeast Asia, particularly Indonesia, Singapore, Malaya, and southern Thailand. So the Straits-born Chinese, or the Peranakan as they were called, they held a position of of comparative wealth and status within the colonies, and they earned their money from trade, from professional jobs. They were bankers, they were lawyers, they were teachers, they were doctors, they were import-export, they were tin and rubber merchants, they were jewelers, cabinet makers, all kinds of stuff. And they made their living supporting the British and Dutch expatriate communities in the area, as well as their own local communities. My great-grandfather was a Peranakan goldsmith and jeweler. So they did pretty well for themselves, and one of the things that they liked to spend their money on was really nice, elaborate, decorative pieces of porcelain like these. So what they would do was they would commission these pieces from workshops and potteries in China, in ceramics shops, and they would have them imported by ship to Singapore or the ports of Malacca, or the ports around Johor Bahru, and they would ship them in literally by the shipload. And people like to think, oh, if it's Nyonyaware, if it's used by the Straits Chinese, that means it was made in Southeast Asia by the Straits Chinese for the Straits Chinese. That is not true. None of this stuff was made actually in Southeast Asia. It was all made in China, and then it was shipped to Southeast Asia for sale. Because it was made in such large quantities, you didn't need high prices. So these pieces were actually, at the time, relatively cheap. You could buy them for $1, $2, $3, maybe the bigger ones, the really fancy plates, platters, bowls, maybe a bit more, $5 a piece, maybe the really expensive ones like a tea set, maybe $10. I mean, granted, $5 was a lot of money back then, and you would be talking about Straits settlements dollars, and that was a real currency. Straits dollars was the currency of the Malay Peninsula and Singapore at the time, so they would have paid with that. And they would have bought pieces like this back to their terraced townhouses, to their mansions, to their shop houses, and they would eat out of them, they would display them, they would serve tea with them, they would eat their kueh, their desserts, their buns, their cakes, all out of these. And these days, these pieces are getting pretty rare. They haven't been made for quite a long time, better part of 100 years, just because of everything that happened in China in the 1940s, 1950s. The manufacturing places just dried up, and then after the war, the Peranakan families, they didn't have the money to continue collecting these things, and so as they got rarer and rarer, um, really authentic pieces like this started getting harder and harder to find, and the prices just creep up. I mean, all you have to do is go on eBay and see what prices people are asking for these and what prices they're selling these at. I mean, not just asking, but actual like sale prices are through the are through the bloody roof. So, to have these is pretty special because, like I said, they're not easy to find, especially for decent prices. So yeah, I'll talk a bit about now. Now I've talked a bit about the history. I'll talk about what's actually on here. So the Peranakan Chinese, they really liked their bright colors. They liked all the Peranakan porcelain is really, really recognizable because it's really bright, light pastel colors. So it's stuff like the green glaze here, the yellow, the white. They like those really bright colors. They also use darker colors. They also had like reds and like darker navy blues, but the real colors they liked were the light green, the yellow, the pink, the white, like here. And so that's one way to recognize it. It's just how bright and colorful it is. The other way to recognize it is through the decorations. Peranakan Chinese, they were descendants from the original Chinese settlers of Southeast Asia, and we're going back 500 or 600 years now. So by the time the 19th century rolls around, which is when these were made, they held no real connection to China. I mean, China was the land of their distant ancestors from 400 years ago. They really had no interest in it, but they still held on to the customs and traditions of their Chinese ancestors, and that included stuff like this. So the decorations aren't just there to look cute. They're also they hold traditional Chinese symbolism. So, for example, here we have the flowers. Now, the flowers are like here and here and here on the sides. These are peony flowers. Peonies are symbolic of wealth and prosperity because they're bright and colorful. And again, here on the other side, because they like symmetry. So, you got it on the other side as well. So peonies are symbolic of wealth. And then you also have this creature here. This is a Chinese phoenix, the legendary immortal bird. In European mythology, the phoenix bursts into flames when it dies and is reborn from the ashes. In Chinese mythology, the phoenix lives forever. So, in that respect, the phoenix represents longevity. So we have prosperity with the flowers and longevity with the phoenix. So these are very, very common themes in Peranakan porcelain. If you see pieces of Peranakan ware, they will almost always, have the peonies and the phoenixes on them. So yeah, I mean, I bought these pieces on eBay, and they're not easy to find. They're really not easy to find. At any one time, you probably have, if you're lucky, maybe a dozen pieces of Nyonyaware, and they're priced absolutely through the roof. But I got lucky, and I got these. And yeah, they are part of my small but slowly growing collection of Peranakan antiques, which is my which is my ancestry. So yeah, I'm trying to get in touch with my roots. And yeah, so there they are, as you can see. Anyway, if you want to know a bit more about them, I do have an article about it on my blog, which you can click on, which you can read. The link will be in the description below. If you have any comments, questions, feel free to leave them downstairs in the comments, and I will read them and respond to them when I can. Yeah, thank you very much for watching.